Hi guys, I'm your English teacher Kay with ISpeakSpokeSpoken.com, and you can download these slides and take a quiz to make sure that you've learned everything we're covering today. So this is our part 2 to the complete guide to numbers in English. So let's look at when we use a hyphen for numbers from 21 to 99. For example, we write 21 with a hyphen like this, and 65 with a hyphen here. For example, 65 students passed the exam. Emphasize the second syllable, exam. Or, there were 62 days left. Now let's look at the agreement in numbers. We have hundreds, thousands, millions, billions, and we use these to talk about general amounts, not specific amounts. For example, thousands of stars were visible in the sky. We're not counting every single star in the sky, we're just giving a general number to describe how many stars are in the sky. Or, for example, millions of people travel during the holidays. We're not counting exactly how many people, but in general, we know that the number is in the millions. So here's something tricky to take note of. When we talk about $200, we put an S here. But if you're talking about something that costs $200, for example, a $200 toy, we don't say a $200 toy. We say a $200 toy. So this is our part 2 to the complete guide in English. For the part 1, make sure that you click up here in the right-hand corner to take a look at what we covered in the first part, so that way everything in part 2 makes sense. So let's look at 0 in English. 0 is the most universal way that we say it, but sometimes we say O for telephone numbers, or nil for football scores in British English, or love for tennis. For example, the game ended in a 0-0 draw. In tennis, the score was 40-love, or 40-0. Or for example, the final score was 2-0 in favor of the home team. So nil again means 0, so the score was 2-1. In favor of the home team means that the team playing in their hometown has the higher score. Now let's look at digits and decimal numbers. For decimals, we use a point to separate the whole number from the part. For example, 3.14. 3 is the whole number, and this is the part that we separate using the point. Here are some more examples of using the decimal. The measurement was 7.62 centimeters. Put the emphasis here on the first syllable, centimeters. Or, he ran the race in 9.58 seconds. Now, for numbers like 2.5, we might say it like that, 2.5, or we can say 2.5. For example, we can say this number like 3.5 or 3.5. Now let's look at the difference between ordinal and cardinal numbers. An easy way to remember the difference is cardinal is for counting, like 1, 2, 3, and ordinal is for order, like first, second, and third. So let's look at our complete list from 1st to 30th. First, second, emphasis on the first syllable, second, third, fourth, fifth, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. Don't forget to put the stress here, 11th, 12th. One more time, 12th. Good. 13th. Don't forget your emphasis on the second syllable, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th. Okay guys, make sure you're saying it with me. 19th, emphasis on the second syllable. 20th. So remember, the teens have the emphasis on the second syllable, and the tens have the emphasis on the first syllable. One more time. 20th. Good. So remember, for numbers in the teens, we put the emphasis on the second syllable. But for numbers in the tens, like 20, 30, 40, 50, the emphasis is on the first syllable. But now we have 21st, and normally you'll hear the emphasis on this number. So make sure you're paying attention to the spelling. Say it with me one more time. 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th. Good. So let's practice again with the tens. And pay attention to the spelling, because 40th, even though it has the number 4, we don't spell it with the U. So 40th, 50th, 60th, and make sure you're really pronouncing the TH sound to make clear pronunciation. 70th, 80th, 90th, 100th. Good. So let's look at some examples of using ordinal numbers. For example, he was the first to arrive. It means he was person number 1 to arrive. She finished the race in 8th place. It means in the race, there were 7 people who finished before her, and she was the 8th person to finish. Or for example, today is the 22nd of April, or April 22nd. For example, his birthday, emphasis here on the first syllable, birthday, good. His birthday is on the 3rd of March, or his birthday is on March 3rd. They were the first 3 teams to finish. For example, if there were 4 teams competing, there was the first team, the second team, and the third team. They were the first 3 teams out of 4 to finish. Now let's look at percentages. So we can put the word percent after a number. For example, 75%, with emphasis on the second syllable, of the class passed the exam. Or only, emphasis on the first syllable, only 10% of applicants get accepted. Or, I hope you get 100% on your quiz at the end of these slides. Now let's look at percentages. We add the word percent after the number to express a percentage. For example, 75%, emphasis on the second syllable, percent of the class passed the exam. We don't put an S here. We don't say 75%. We say 75%. We can also write it like this. Or for example, only 10% of applicants get accepted. Only, put the emphasis on the first syllable, only 10% of applicants get accepted. Or, for example, I hope you get 100% on your quiz that you take at the end of these slides. So guys, thanks so much for joining me today. I'm Kay, your English teacher with ISpeakSpokeSpoken.com, and you can download these slides to practice, and of course, take your quiz to get 100%, and make sure that you go back and watch part 1 of this video for the complete guide to numbers in English. I hope to see you soon. Bye!